Yo, ChickenMan here. I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona. I'm wearing my ChickenMan Harley Davidson mask, made by Powerful Piece on Instagram. I'll put an @ thing on here so you guys could order a mask from her. They're freaking dope. You can put a N95 mask inside of it. They're pretty fancy. But I'm at SunGold Tattoo and Barber. I'm going to talk to Daniel and Parker about their business and the effects of coronavirus and George Floyd protests, etc. Apparently, they've been going gangbusters. So I hope you enjoy the interview. Let's go inside. Hey, y'all. It's ChickenMan here. Welcome to episode 9 of ChickenMan on the Run. I'm in Scottsdale, Arizona with Daniel and Parker from SunGold Tattoo and Barber. And we're going to start with, here's a slip of paper. And we're going to talk about coronavirus and George Floyd, but not necessarily in that order. So I'm going to flip a coin. St. Jude, patron saint of lost causes. You guys call it?
Heads.
It is heads. So whatever's on that piece of paper.
Coronavirus.
All right. So how has coronavirus affected you guys in your business, personal lives?
Business, I mean, obviously we had...
And also, what was it like in Arizona? Since all the context we've had so far is in California. So.
Yeah, so Arizona, it was, obviously at first nobody really knew what it was. So everyone was secretly like, we were playing it off, making jokes. And then after a while, we're like, I think this is real.
We got to take it seriously.
Yeah, we got to take this seriously. So, we kind of played it by ear, and they started shutting everything down. And tattoos and barbershops were pretty much the last thing, right?
So we actually started shutting down, like trailing behind California. So when we shut down, we technically didn't have to shut down. I think we probably had another 2 weeks. They still deemed barbershops, salons, massage, all that stuff was still essential.
Okay.
So I think it was probably, we were like 2 weeks into basically quarantining ourselves just because we didn't know the severity of the issue.
Okay. So you guys went ahead and shut down.
We did, yeah. Well, not only that, but I mean, people who are employees as well are like, hey, listen, I feel like a hypocrite. I don't feel safe. So at that point, instead of us taking on the extra load, and not only that, but my wife, I have kids too. She's just like, I'm super nervous about it. I want you to stay home all night. So, of course, we ended up staying home, and we took an extra 2 weeks of our revenue out just to kind of keep ourselves safe and then keep our clients safe.
Yeah, for sure.
And
that was before we knew anything.
Yeah, we didn't know
anything.
Yeah. As far as like I said, it was kind of a running joke in here.
Right.
And then after a while, it's like, whoa, people.
Yeah, first we were like joking about getting shut down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, none of America had been shut down yet. I think we were just all going based off of what was going in China. And, was it like Italy, right? Like all the other countries that were getting hit real bad. We were like joking like how crazy it would be if we weren't allowed to go to work or if we didn't have to go to work, And
then it happened.
And then and then we were sitting at home, and then they're like, you can't go to work, and now we're like, well, we want to work. And then after a while, we got in that steady kind of flow that everyone, you go into coronavirus like, I'm going to come out, I'm going to have a 6-pack, I'm going to be jacked, and then like a week later.
How'd that work out?
Yeah, it didn't work out.
Yeah, it didn't.
Yeah. we kept, buying more groceries than I've ever bought in my life.
Really?
Just doing that out of fear. I mean, you saw the grocery stores when you went there.
Go in.
There's no meat. There's no vegetables. I mean, people are buying 8 bags of potatoes. So, but as far as that, and then like you personally, I think everyone gets affected. It's kind of like when you go on vacation or, you move in with the best friend. After a while, especially if you're stuck in a room with someone, you're going to eventually start to go crazy. So
my brother said he's got a wife and 2 daughters, and he was like, I think I know what it might be like to be in prison now.
Yeah.
I was like, that's dark, dude, but okay, I get it. He's like, yeah, same people, same room all the time.
Yeah, I mean, that's just really what it is.
Super intense.
Well, that, and then there's nothing you can do with your kids, and you can only go swimming so many times a day, and then we have a newborn, so it was constant. It was stress, but it was good to get back to work.
So you guys were shut down. You self-shut down 2 weeks before
mid-March.
Arizona.
Yeah.
March.
It was I remember it being March 15th, and then we actually got completely shut down by March 22nd. So it was really like a week before.
Okay.
And I think a big reason why we took the step back to backtrack a little bit is because we were getting so many like cancellations. We'd come into the day with a full schedule, and by the time we leave, I see 5 people in the barbershop, and I had a 15 person load. And same thing, he'd be coming in here at 10. His 10 would no call, no show. His 12 would call and cancel. Just everybody was, you know, hands in the air. Nobody knew.
And not only
nobody
that,
knew what to
it
do.
was. I mean, in the middle of spring training season. I don't know if you've ever been to Arizona in March. It's literally the craziest month for everyone. So I had a lot of people who I had booked 3 months in advance. They're like, "Hey, we're going for spring training." So I mean, half of my March just got wiped out by that. Just like, "Hey, dude, we're not traveling." What do I say? So
Gotcha.
That's a big thing. So it was just everything slow. All the dominoes were slowly falling, and then finally we just took the initiative, and it was kind of weird that we were like everything else. Like it was bars, it was restaurants, it was.
So you guys were that was weird.
It was everything in there, and I mean supposedly, Doug Ducey's wife, who's a governor, has. His wife has a bunch of blow dry bars and stuff.
Okay.
So people are saying that.
It was like,
there
was motivation to keep it.
Yeah, well, that's one of those conspiracy things that you can see, but you never know.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but for us, it was like we're exposing ourselves and we're giving ourselves half the revenue that we usually get. So.
So you guys, when did you open up fully?
May 8th.
May 8th, yeah.
Okay.
That was the big day.
Crap! So you've been open over a month.
Yeah.
So one of my other questions is, what do you think the future will look like? You're kind of in the future as far as like LA, where I'm from, is concerned. You're already in the future.
Yeah.
So what does it look like? Do you have restrictions? Do you have?
Well, funny enough, we kind of just jumped back into 2019, and I think that's why we're seeing a spike right now.
Okay.
I mean, because I understand, wearing a mask, like in grocery stores, like if you want to go and do that, like wear a mask there because, maybe there's older people who go out. But if you want to go to a bar and do all that, which people are doing, it's bananas right now. So, and we opened up all, on the fast track. So we always take the highest road that we try to keep cleanliness. We wipe stuff down. We've been doing that ever since we opened.
Okay.
So, there's a little, we have hand sanitizer spread throughout the shop now, and, we're staying a little more vigilant, but
I think as far as like business goes, it's like the barber world, the tattoo world, we're already kind of like, no,
you already have to train.
It's already mandatory. That's why we go to school. We go 1,500 hours in the barber world to learn how to disinfect and sanitize and keep our stations clean. But I see a lot in like other parts of the world where these barbers are setting up shields in between them. They're wearing face masks. They're taking all these extra steps and stuff like that. And I really hope that doesn't stick. And I don't see Arizona going that direction. I don't know about some of the other states. But for example, when we first got back going, I made sure I was wearing gloves and changing my gloves in between, just to kind of create that sense of security in my clients. And my steps were a little bit different. So maybe instead of using like a Barbicide spray, I actually move everything into the sink. I wash everything before I spray it down. Using a spray to wipe the chairs down and stuff like that isn't something that barbers typically do. And we'll seat somebody right behind the next person sitting down. And come to think of it, since we've been doing that, really like as I'm doing it, I'm understanding that this is probably how it should be regardless of whether the coronavirus is going in or not, Especially here in Arizona, people are coming in sweaty and you take the time to like wipe the chair down, but realistically, these are all things that should be done anyways. Wearing gloves as a barber, especially when you're dealing with a little bit of length in hair, is kind of a pain in the ass, especially when you're trying to like style and put product to do whatever. You need to be able to feel. You need to be able to touch. As far as like the future goes, I can't imagine that very much is going to change for us. I mean, don't they like wear masks in other countries, like regardless tattooing?
They do, yeah. And there's some people, it's like your prerogative. I before this and especially now, I always wear gloves through the whole process of it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm washing my hands 15, 20 times a day.
Right.
And now we have sanitizer on top of that. So, but I mean, it's like he said, in the future, I mean, obviously we'll probably ask people, you know, hey, have you been sick?
What do you prefer?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
you know, like ask them more kind of, not really history. Like if you're feeling bad, literally don't come in. You can
Yeah.
you can get a haircut or a tattoo anytime.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Not when you're coughing and have a fever.
yes,
please.
which
Yeah.
you shouldn't anyway. You know, which when people come in before and they even if they were like sniffling or if they're I'm like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah.
I've been sick, and I'm like, leave, like just
Yeah.
come back.
Yeah.
We're not in a hurry here.
You were saying that tattooing here is not super regulated.
It's
right?
not regulated.
So
at
they're
all.
not handing anything down. But I'm assuming you're 1,500 hours.
Yeah,
Has,
ours
has
is
the
licensed.
state given you mandates or?
No, nothing's really changed. The only thing that came down from the top is from Governor Ducey, and everything was more of a suggestion. It was a consider operating by appointment only, consider wearing gloves, consider wearing masks, consider putting out hand sanitizer and stuff like that for people to use when they come in and out of the business. But yeah, I mean, it's all stuff that we do regularly anyway.
And
So
then-
as it was said earlier today, it is the Wild West here.
It is the Wild
Yeah.
West. Oh yeah, I mean that's not just with us. That's with restaurants. That's with bars. It's with everything now. So I actually just heard from someone that a bunch of places in Arcadia just got closed down.
Yeah, the Porch,
Yeah.
the Woodies, they had like a
Oh,
bunch of-
restaurants, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
Wow.
restaurants and bars.
Because they had
a couple.
They didn't have
outbreaks.
to. They didn't have to. I think they just took it upon themselves to make the right decision
Oh, interesting.
and keep it from spreading. Probably at least for 2 weeks until they can
Yeah.
figure out who.
Well,
who
so
does
I
and doesn't.
guess I had heard too that those people all have to get tested, and then when they're done with their symptoms, they have to all be clean for 2 weeks before they can open back up.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mean, it's laxative. I mean, we have a higher population of I want to say young professionals out here. You know,
Okay.
so it's a lot of people, and it's a college town.
Right.
So a lot of kids who were cooped up before, or, I mean, they didn't when they were in college. They went back home to live with their parents.
Right.
So now that they're back, they're going out here, and everyone's going bananas.
Raging.
Yeah.
Chopping at
Literally
the bit.
raging.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Have
supposedly,
you guys gone out at all?
No.
Or seen it? Okay.
No. I see videos, and so
Okay.
I mean, Floyd Mayweather was just here.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he bailed from Vegas to come party out
Oh,
here.
no
So
way.
we saw
Okay.
videos
supposedly
of-
Old Town had their biggest sales day even bigger than the Open.
wow.
And that's like a bar,
like the first
club
Saturday
kinda
back.
area.
Yeah.
It's called the District. It's just
Okay.
nothing but clubs and bars, and everybody's walking back and forth between
Best sales day ever.
best sales day
Oh,
ever.
wow.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's
was
amazing.
the first Saturday. After
So all of
everything
Arizona
opened
or
back up.
Phoenix is just kind of like, no,
Yeah.
F it, we're
Yeah.
Yeah, well, between that and between, I mean, the protests, we had some protests downtown where there was tens of thousands of people.
Okay.
So, and when you're not supposed to have more than a group of 10 together.
Right.
So yeah, when you go to these bars, these other restaurants, and all these other, you see all these things happening. Despite, I don't understand really why people are that surprised by it. Because if you see,
No, it makes sense.
we're still like I'll still go to a restaurant and we'll eat and then leave and wash hands and do all that, but I'm not going at the pack time or anything like that.
Okay.
And then we're trying to take the precautions, but
Since you brought up the protests, let's go ahead and pivot and we'll start to talk about the murder of George Floyd and the protests. Well, actually, how were you guys affected fiscally by the Corona shutdown? Was that an issue? Did you have to do loans or the payroll program or any of that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say a lot of that. Like, I feel like both directly affected us and directly affected the business.
yeah.
Right, like everybody getting the $1,200 stimulus check. I feel like as soon as we open back up, a lot of people were wanting to spend that money on tattoos.
Oh, that helps.
Oh yeah.
And then
it
also
did
like
help,
the back pay for the PUA, Pandemic
Right.
Unemployment Assistance. People got that back pay of 4Gs, 5Gs, 6Gs, whatever it was, and immediately wanted to come in and spend it on
Absolutely, just
something.
spend
Yeah.
money. Yeah, you have kids that are they work at Starbucks or they work at a coffee shop or
Home Depot
servers,
or
Home
whatever,
Depot. They're
yeah.
making $8-10 an hour, and now maybe $400 or $500 a week. Now they're getting $800 a week, not working.
And all in one lump
It's
sum.
money to
Yeah.
earn, maybe.
Yeah. And then
Well, you were saying you're usually booked a couple weeks out.
Yeah.
Right now, you're booked out like a month. and a half or something.
now I'm almost a month out. Yeah, so it's just and that's one thing that really the coronavirus did for me too is kind of value my time at home as well as at work because before I was just grinding as far as I could and then like if someone wants to come in at 7, you come in at 7, or like he was saying earlier, you know, I'll come in at 8. All right, I'll stay till late. So
and Parker, you were saying the same thing. You cut your hours back, and
it's just maybe, you know, I want to be able to see the kids while there's the sun out. You know, I want to be able to go home and like have a little bit of a day left, be able to go to the grocery store and then be home by 9. Before it was like I got home, I kiss my daughter, we eat, and then I give her a bath, she goes to sleep. Yeah. So the coronavirus made me, you know, want to restructure the way I do it. And it honestly made me even busier. So instead of people, you know, me being on other people's time, we kind of make people on our time now.
Oh, nice.
And then, which, you know, what we both love our job and we love our business, but, you know, we don't live to work. We want to work to live.
Well, we did. Right?
Well, we did.
And that's the thing that I feel like was a big eye opener for me was when I first went into quarantine. Probably for the first week and a half, I didn't know what else I did besides be out and hanging out in Old Town or Arcadia or downtown, and then working. So when I got off work and I was working 10, 11 hours a day, I'd get off, probably go out, grab some dinner from a place, not from my house.
Right.
And have a couple of drinks, go home, wake up, do it all over the next day. Sunday usually spent kind of kicking my feet up from swollen ankles and standing all day long. So I want to just be at the house chilling, watching movies. Monday it's time to get back and clean the shop up and do my laundry at the house and get the house squared away. And then I'm right back to it on Tuesday. So I literally did not know what else I did besides hang out with my friends, go out and cut hair. Right. That's all I knew how to do. So I'm like, I don't have any hobbies. Literally had no hobbies, you know. Yeah. So I decided, you know, going to the gym, working out, right. And, you know,
but even
little stuff like that.
That's like
couldn't do that anymore. Yeah. So that was like something that coming out of quarantine, I wanted to manage a little bit better. Was I need to live my life and not have 100% of my time dedicated towards just work.
Yeah.
You know.
So
yeah, that was
I've heard a lot of people that I've talked to. I think there's going to be a lot of as gnarly and scary as all this time.
Yes.
There's going to be a lot of really positive change.
Yeah, definitely a positive change.
I hope it makes us all healthier.
Yeah. It does, and not only that, but you just, you know, being able to shake someone's hand or give your friend a hug, like you know, that means a lot more than people think.
Absolutely.
So,
Well, so let's talk about George Floyd and the protests. You guys had protests in Phoenix. Did that affect you directly? Was it nearby, or
it was a couple miles? I mean, for a minute, I was getting a little scared because I mean, we're right here in South Scottsdale, and Old Town Scottsdale is 2 miles, 3 miles away. Yeah, and I know a bunch of friends my buddies who have restaurants and bars and places up there, and that's where we actually knew that it was going to happen that night. Somebody sent me a tweet saying that they're going to all go to Fashion Square because
it's like an organized looting. They like
that's what
announced.
Too.
Yeah, they were like announcing that that's where it was going to be going on. And what time.
It went from organized protests to organized looting. So that kind of scared us to like, okay, well, if they get this way, so I mean, it didn't affect us directly, but it did. Well, it did actually, absolutely, because when you go out, Scottsdale's known for being a nicer place. More money, more uppity, more businesses, higher class, and then just to drive down the street and just see all the great landscape and all the stuff you love, kind of boarded up, burned. Like it's just it hit close to home, and that it made it real, but. It's scary, and there's supposed to be another one by Scottsdale Quarter, which is right next to my house, and they're saying that people are going to come out. People say the worst things. Yeah. So it's just when you have kids, or I mean, even if it's yourself at home, it's scary to think that someone can break in. But as far as the peaceful protesting, I'm all for it. I think it's beautiful that all these people are coming together for a good cause. Absolutely.
Right on. Are you guys going to change anything moving forward in relationship to the George Floyd protest stuff or the coronavirus stuff?
I mean,
you already talked about you're going to change. You're going to have more of a life,
right?
Yeah, and it's like absolutely. See your kids more, stuff like that. Is there anything else like personally you're going to do? Or?
See, I think personally we've always been, we've had black employees here, and we've always been right in the middle. we've never been on one side or the other. So if our shop was leading by example, I think we're doing a pretty good job. As of now, we have a widespread base of clients. Like we don't have one type of person coming in here.
Yeah.
So, and obviously we're all aware of it. We talk about it. And obviously try to push positive, thinking positive and not, thinking about all the negative stuff.
Yeah. Unity.
Yeah, unity, absolutely.
I mean, I think that more than anything, we are 100% in it for Black Lives Matter and the whole George Floyd push. But I think a fact of the matter is, like, we're much closer to 20 than we are to 60 years of age. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of that is, like, it's very, like, old way of thinking. I grew up in Chicago, and in Chicago, my main group of friends, I had Filipino, black from Haiti, black from Africa, Polish, Chinese, first generation, Russian, right? So, like, I didn't grow, I grew up, like, knowing what racism was, but I didn't grow up with racism, Yeah. Like I said, like, the new generation, the 20s and the early teens, like, we're for sure pushing in the right direction.
Oh, yeah.
So,
I like that.
Like I said, like, it doesn't live here, it doesn't, like, it sounds a little crazy to us because we don't treat people that way. I never have. I've never judged anybody based off of the color of their skin. So for us, maybe it's not as real until you get out there on the streets and start seeing the protesting happening. And it's like, you hear people telling their stories and it's like,
oh, shit's still happening.
Yeah,
because I'm a,
Wow.
32-year-old white guy in America. Like, I am, on the other side of that wall. I don't have a dog in a fight. I've never experienced that. So
I hear that. So here's something I haven't asked a few people, but I'll ask you guys. Would you guys have done anything differently if you knew this shit was all going to go down?
hell yeah.
What would you have done differently?
I think that more than anything, kind of managing your finances. Like you, especially in the barber world, like we're dealing with a decent amount of money coming in almost every day, and a lot of it's coming in cash. So it's easy to get, but also easy to go and spend. So you walking away with $300 in your pocket at the end of the day. It's like, if I spend 100 of it, I still got two, or 150 or whatever.
No, it's that bad math that you do.
Yeah. So I after dealing with this, I know moving forward 100%, I already have it all mapped out. I've already sat down with my accountant and, like, planned out my month to month, and I'm working on spreadsheets to be able to manage my money and pre-save everything that's going towards taxes and stuff like that. So financially, I feel like this kind of was like a major eye opener.
Okay.
Where it's like I don't want to. I want to be able to know that I don't have to work for a year.
Right.
If shit hits the fan, you know what I mean, and still have that money put aside. So that's like the big eye opener for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously financial planning's good, but one thing about it too is, like, we were not spending any money really because we were not doing that much. But I mean, in the future, absolutely, just kind of have a little more of a nest egg.
Save more.
And not only that, but kind of push the knowledge on, because I don't know about you. I mean, I know you're the same as me, but we feel responsible for everyone who works for us.
Right.
So maybe, try to instill it on them. Like, hey, listen, this is a long-term thing for you. I mean, you don't think about finding another job, right? So this is how it's not. We don't have 401ks. We have to set up all our own stuff, and and when you're getting, like you said, cash and stuff every day, putting $200 into a 401k or to a
So you're going to start mentoring some of your employees.
Just trying to spread knowledge, because I mean it took us.
We don't get taught any of that.
We don't
in school.
No, you really don't, and it could be as small as putting $100 in the stock market, a week or a month, and over time it's going to build. So that's just one thing that I really would like to help out with, especially
Dope, I love it. Do you guys have anything you want to promote?
SunGold Tattoo and Barber.
Yeah.
There you go. All right.
If you're in Scottsdale, Arizona, come by, see us, get a haircut, get a tattoo. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right. ChickenMan episode, I think I said 8 at the beginning?
9.
But it's 9. Did I say 9?
You said 9.
Oh, good.
Right.
Okay.
Chicken Man episode 9. That's a wrap.
See you next time.
Thanks, folks.